Hey everybody, good morning to you. I'm Grace McKenna.
And I'm Jim Stratman. Thanks for joining us here on WHAS 11 Plus as we watch some snow moving through our skies.
Ooh. We knew it was coming, but Matt, as folks get out the door this morning, it is definitely a bit of a chilly shock to the system.
Chilly shock indeed, Grace. Yeah, for those of you that love snow, this is a great day for you. For those of you that weren't quite ready for it, you're gonna have to roll through the punches today. We've got a winter weather advisory in place until 7 p.m. across all of Kentuckiana for the remainder of our day. So this is around until 7 p.m. So we're still expecting chilly temperatures along with some brief periods of some snow showers to arrive as we go throughout the rest of this morning and into portions of our afternoon. Dress up in layers. Use lots of caution on the roadways today, especially going over bridges and overpasses. There's going to be some spots that will certainly be a bit slick out there. Here's satellite and radar for us right now. This morning, you'll notice a few of those isolated snow showers developing closer towards Hardinsburg and Brandenburg, Litchfield, Campbellsville, and near Elizabethtown. That's where we're going to go to Matthew here shortly. But you'll notice that we are tracking some additional snow showers that will be arriving just as we go later on into our morning hours. So as I mentioned, closer towards Campbellsville and Greensburg, that's where some of those very small isolated light snow showers are occurring, but we are expected to see some more develop as we head later on into the morning time. Temperatures are currently ranging into the upper 20s in Louisville, 25 LaGrange, 25 Elizabethtown, 25 near Paoli. And whenever we see those winds gust between 5 and 15 miles per hour for us, we factor that in with the actual temperature, and that is what the feels like is. So feeling like 17 in LaGrange, feeling like 17 in Elizabethtown, feeling like 19 in Brandenburg. As we go throughout the rest of the day, we're certainly going to keep some chilly temperatures around the forecast. The rest of our morning is going to include these bands of snow showers that will be arriving, bringing some brief periods of some moderate to heavy snow showers, and some of those will still be around until the afternoon. As we go later on into the afternoon, we will continue to stay in this pattern. Now let's look at your weather details right now. We're going to send it over now to Matthew so that he can give us a little bit of a glimpse of how things are looking on the ground there. Matthew, how's it looking?
Yeah, we're honestly feeling pretty cold out here. And as we look outside, we did see a little bit of snow last night. Some of the sidewalks, as you can tell right now, as I step out the way, you can see some of those covered in a slight coating of snow. But as you look around the area, really you are seeing at least that snow still sticking around. So I do have a temperature checker for us this morning. So when I was testing this out a little bit, we did see the grass right now, 14 degrees. So the surface is actually colder than the air. Also the roadways right around 16 degrees, and even the sidewalk right now right about 18 degrees. So yeah, it's pretty cold. So once we start to get that snow, we'll really likely start to see that coat the roadways and those grass surfaces for this morning. We'll send it back over to you, Matt.
All right, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, definitely a chilly start to our morning. We do have a crash to report on I-264. The left-hand shoulder is blocked due to a crash on the eastbound of Watterson at exit 14 near Poplar Level Road. So keep that in mind if that's part of your commute. But as far as the interstates are going this morning, across from I-65 to Sellersburg, we are looking good to go. If we have any major holdups, we'll let you know. Jim, Grace?
Matt, thank you very much. And of course, you can get the latest severe weather updates, snow updates, school closing alerts as well. We know that Meade County operating on a 2-hour delay this morning. You can get that through the free WHAS 11 Plus app. Scan the QR code you see on your screen right now. You can download it directly onto your phone.
And a heads up, like Jim just mentioned, for you families in Meade County Schools is on a 2-hour delay today. The district says it worked with the state road department to make the call because of slick spots developing around the county. Buses will run 2 hours later than their normal time, and all school offices and buildings will open 2 hours later than usual. We'll also mention that we just got into our newsroom that Breckinridge County Schools are also on a 2-hour delay. So again, Breckinridge families, that is you, 2-hour delay today.
We do have this that came in breaking overnight. The U.S. Senate has passed a tentative spending bill marking a major step towards ending the government shutdown. The bill itself would fund the government through January. It would reverse many of President Trump's layoffs that happened during this shutdown, and it would set a vote on Affordable Care Act subsidies for later on in December. That bill now has to go through the House, which has been in recess since September, and it must be signed by the president before it goes into effect. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul voted no on that bill, while Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell voted yes, the same way that they've been voting throughout this entire process. We're going to have more on this bill coming up here in just a little bit on GMK. But first, as of this morning, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg is saying all of the missing victims from Tuesday's tragic plane crash have been found.
14 people lost their lives, and we learned one of their names over the weekend. U of L's business school said Matt Sweets, a 2011 graduate, died on Thursday after suffering critical burns. He's survived by his partner and their 2 children. Sweets is the 6th victim identified so far, along with Lou Fedon and his 3-year-old granddaughter, Kimberly Asa. The 3 pilots on board, Richard Wartenberg, Lee Truitt, and Dana Diamond, also did not survive.
One of the 2 businesses that were hit by that plane still looking for 3 of its employees. Owner of Grade A Recycling, Sean Garber told us that it includes 35-year-old Megan Washburn and 52-year-old John Laux. Now, Garber said that each day that goes by, the shock and the grief of this crash slowly starts to turn more into anger.
2 of our customers who came there to do business and go home and be with their families are no longer with us. So it's just unacceptable.
Garber says that he is prioritizing his employees at this time, making sure that counselors are available for them and making sure that they don't miss a paycheck. The coroner's office did confirm to WHAS11 that those 3 employees are included in their list of missing people.
Cleanup around the crash site and along waterways is still happening, with concern for the environment high. MSD advises people in South Jefferson County to avoid contact with water that could be contaminated with runoff from the crash. WHAS11's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Connie Offit report from Pond Creek.
On a chilly Sunday afternoon, workers with PICO Emergency Response work in Pond Creek, in a blocked-off portion of a public park off Lambourne Boulevard.
Noticed there's a crew here working and wasn't sure what that was about.
Andrew Crawford is one of many curious people in an area surrounded by homes. A worker says they are a contracted group involved in the environmental cleanup efforts after the UPS cargo plane crash on Tuesday. MSD warned people on Friday to avoid waterways like Northern Ditch and Southern Ditch that come directly off the crash site, along with Pond Creek. MSD saying the water could be potentially contaminated with runoff from the crash. One of the workers told me they're taking a layer of petroleum off of the water of Pond Creek all around homes and even a park here.
Yeah, a little surprised. I mean, being a ways away from the UPS airport, didn't really think much about it in the waterways. Definitely a concern, a lot of environmental concerns. I'm glad that there's crews out here taking care of it.
The Environmental Protection Agency has joined UPS in cleaning up oil from these waterways, which flow to the Salt and Ohio rivers. When thinking of the toxins released from the UPS plane crash,
it's certainly an amount that's highly concerning.
Audrey Ernstberger, an attorney with Kentucky Resources Council, worries about the air and water qualities from the crash itself and the remediation efforts by first responders.
I think precaution and taking an abundance of precaution is the necessary step for people who live in the area. Avoiding contact with northern and southern ditches, especially in Pond Creek, and keeping pets away from that area is really important.
Her concerns lie with the EPA on environmental and public health risks.
What is the scope of contamination in terms of how far it has actually migrated?
A question investigators are working to get the answer to. Ernstberger remembers the lives lost and honors the brave work of first responders, while hoping the protection of lives in the crash's aftermath are ensured. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 on your side.
The Kentucky Resources Council also says problem areas should be communicated to the public and test results made accessible as part of the remediation efforts.
The FAA has announced that it is grounding all MD-11 planes across the country following the crash last Tuesday. The Associated Press reporting on Saturday that those planes will be grounded pending a further inspection. UPS and FedEx had already made the decision to ground their MD-11s. Over the weekend, Boeing's Safety Review Board recommended that all of those planes be grounded due to necessary additional engineering analysis on the planes. UPS says that MD-11s make up about 9% of its airline fleet. In total, that's about 70 planes worldwide in service right now. The company says contingency plans are in place to maintain their service levels with just a smaller fleet.
One question some have still had about the crash is what accountability, if any, UPS will face. A lawsuit has already been filed against UPS as well as Boeing and General Electric. Kentuckiana attorney Daryl Isaacs tells us if UPS is found responsible, major changes could be made to prevent similar crashes in the future.
UPS, I mean, if it is shown that, yes, they have some negligence in it, but I imagine for future flights, they're going to take that much more precaution.
The class action lawsuit with more than 100 members was filed on behalf of individuals and businesses affected by both the crash and the following explosion.